Hello there, this is James and you're watching Tixee Live, and a very good afternoon to all of you, and all of you a very happy Thursday. In today's little program, I want to discuss how a little bit of US data has come out and how the market again is talking about having false hope on a potential Fed pivot, plus a little bit more developments, another development from the UK as well, which is pretty scary. But before we get into all of that, don't forget these little videos are for educational purposes only, and in no way whatsoever should be taken as financial advice. I always suggest you do your own research and do your own due diligence, and of course, know the risks at hand before entering any trade. With that out the way, let's get started. So yeah, again, like the ISA, the US ISA manufacturing PMI, which we had on Monday, we've had some US data come in, which was slightly worse than anticipated or slightly worse than expected. And once again, all I'm hearing, well, not all I'm hearing, but a lot of what I'm hearing now is the market going, it's okay, this is it. The Fed is going to put a pivot in, and they're going to be gentle with us, which again, I keep saying this. It's like I'm on instant repeat. It's not something I personally believe in, and the Fed has never ever hinted or said that they are likely to, take their foot off the pedal, so to speak, with raising interest rates. In fact, they keep talking about, their commitment to bringing down inflation to their targets. So, anyway, the data which came out was U.S. initial claims, okay, which came out and was announced at 219,000 versus 200,000 expected. Okay, so slightly worse than anticipated. Those who are new to trading, the US initial claims is the number of people in a week in the US who is signed on for unemployment benefit for the first time. Okay, so anyway, slight increase of 219,000 versus 200,000 expected. But if we have a look at the numbers, okay, over the last, say, 12 months, okay. At the beginning of the year, it's around 248,000. Then we had 245,000 initial claims. Wasn't that last for the year? Last couple of weeks, good couple of weeks. 228,000. Then it dropped to 218, 208, 209. We had a good number last week, 190. And like today's numbers, 219,000. Okay, so it's still pretty steady. The only thing which would, is a little bit negative or more. I mean, obviously it's negative. It's not nice for 219,000 people to be signing on for unemployment benefit for the first time. But one bit of data which did come out at the same time, which again is negative as well, is the continuing jobless claims. This is the number of people who are still claiming an unemployment benefit, not for the first time, but are still on unemployment benefit. And the number came in slightly higher at 1.361 versus 1.286 expected. Okay, so that is not a good number, because it goes to show that people aren't finding new jobs. Okay, though the previous readings were good, where we did see people finding jobs. So that's the one little telltale sign that obviously the labor market might be cooling down a little bit. But still, I don't believe it's enough, because, like I say, the market is shouting pivot, pivot, pivot. Sound like Ross from Friends there. But again, I really struggle, and I keep saying this, because the Fed keeps talking quite hawkishly, and it's almost like it's falling onto deaf ears. They keep saying, underlining their commitment to bring inflation down to 2%, how that is their number one goal, how they're happy to make the labor market soften. Okay, how they this is what they want to achieve. It's all about inflation, and in fact, it's even combined. They're saying that they want interest rates around 4.5% level by the end of the year. And then this is what's important. This is what they then say. Then hold as in no decreasing interest rates, because everybody's expecting that sometime next year, when we are in a recession and the US are in a proper recession, they will decrease interest rates. But until they get inflation down to their target, they're not dropping any hints whatsoever that they're going to do this. So this is all the talk of the town. There are people, so many people out there, and I just don't understand why are going on that they're expecting a pivot. All eyes now, of course, is on tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be huge, potentially going to be huge. The NFP is, this is key. This is key. Because the expectation is the number coming at 250,000 new jobs. Okay, the previous reading was 315,000. Sorry, excuse me. So slightly lower than expected, but still a reasonable number. If we get anything higher than 250, then we could see the market come under potentially a lot of pressure, because then maybe the market might start waking up to reality that the Fed are not backing down. If we get a lower number, then the market might start kidding itself again that the Fed will be gentle, and we could see the dollar weaken, and we could see risk appetite on the market. Because it's potentially such a big event, I will, of course, be doing a watch along for this event at 12:20 p.m. UTC. The event comes out at 12:30. So, 12:30 the number comes out. We have US unemployment at the same time as well. Hi, Mohammed. I hope you're well, my friend. Good to see you. So yeah, the event comes out at 12:30. So obviously we go on 10 minutes beforehand so we can discuss, have a little chat about it, and also go through several scenarios of what might happen on the announcement. So please come and join me for that. Potentially that could be a really big event. Other news: IMF, International Monetary Fund, they have said the risk of global recession are rising. She said, in fact, the economies which supply 1/3 of the global GDP are going to fall into recession. Okay, so they're saying we are looking for very bad times. We're going to wipe the global trade is going to fall by 4 trillion by 2026. So they are being gloomsayers, very much so. They are giving us plenty of warnings out there, and they had said, and this is having a swipe a little bit, having an attack on the Fed a bit. It's saying fiscal measures should be targeted and temporary. So basically what they're saying, okay, is that the Fed should not be aggressive. So they're asking for a pivot as well, and should be only temporary. So they're dropping hints at that. On another news, again, going back to the UK, I talk about the UK a fair bit because it's in the headlines a lot at the moment. The National Grid has warned of planned power cuts, forced but planned power cuts in the UK in the winter due to the energy crisis. I know obviously what we're talking about here. Power cuts across the UK, being forced to do power cuts because there's an energy crisis. Europe is going to be likely to do the same, especially with the OPEC decision this morning as well. This is a G7 country. Power cuts. That hasn't happened, which is ironic because we are facing inflation at record high levels. That hasn't happened since 1970s when they had strikes. They've had power cuts. So that is a very, very, very worrying number, a worrying fact, a worrying thing to be mentioned and to be said. So it's very, very disturbing. But anyway, as the markets, as it currently stands at the moment, like I say, though I'm hearing a lot of talk of a Fed pivot, the market seems to be feeling a little bit like myself, sort of accepting that that's not going to happen anytime soon, because we are seeing a bit of risk-off appetite. We have a look at the sterling. Okay, currently looks set to have a second day of losses. Currently, it's trading around 0.9832. So it has been under pressure. It had a bit of a bounce back a little bit earlier on, but for now remains under pressure as well. The sterling, again, trading for this amazing range. Okay, amazing range on the day, 1.13779 resistance. But at the moment, this is the level I'm watching very closely. Okay, it's testing a key potential level of 1.12 196. That was actually a pivot point, which I worked out and calculated in my hashtag Ask James episode. So it's really interesting to keep an eye on this now. 1.1296, a key area now. It's trying to break through that. Like I say, after that, like I say, again, it's under a lot of pressure. So again, look set for a second day of losses after having 6 days of gains. Gold. Oh, gold. My beloved precious metal. As those who watch me regularly know, I'm an absolute gold bug. Gold, again, looks set for a second day of gain. It's up on the week, though. It's had 2 very good trading days when the market was really kidding itself. Can't or couldn't break through that key level of $1,726. Currently trading at $1,708. Now, a key here for me on this is if the bulls can stay in the game. Okay, can the bulls protect that psychological level of $1,700, the key psychological level? They managed to defend it yesterday. Can they defend it again today? So that would be a key level. After that, the other area of interest I'll be keeping an eye on would be $1,667.86. So that's what's happening really at the market. Let's have a look at the S&P 500 as well. While we're at it, again, like I say, under pressure. Again, this is on a daily. Looks set to have a second day of losses as well after 2 really good days of gains. Don't forget, I said those are the 2 best days for the S&P, and the third best start for the quarter 4 the S&P, and the best 2-day gain since April 2020. So currently trading at 3,748 points. Nasdaq is the same. Again, looks set to have a possible daily loss as well. Currently trading around 11,489 points. Don't forget, we've got some other major events to come. German retail sales tomorrow, but realistically, it's all about one thing: US unemployment and US NFP. Like I say, if we do get that number, if it's a higher than anticipated number, better than anticipated number, then obviously the market will clearly have to wake up that we're not going to get a Fed pivot anytime soon. Don't forget, you can ask me questions anytime you wish, or simply say hello if you like Mohammed just did, which was really nice. Or share, ask questions, or share me any opinions you may have. Tell me what you think. I mean, what do you think the NFP number is going to be tomorrow? Is it going to be a shocker? I mean, I remember not the NFP, excuse me, not the NFP just gone, but the NFP we did a watch along a little while back. I think it was 2 months ago. That came in a real shocker. That came in around 528,000, something like that. It's a real high figure when we had the expectation of 2, so a better. So it'd be interesting to see what this figure is tomorrow, what it will be. Don't forget, if you think of the questions later, you can put it on the comment section over on Facebook or YouTube. I will see them, and of course we'll answer them next time I go live on air. So bear that in mind. Which of course will be tomorrow morning. I'm back on at 8:30 a.m. UTC, and again, like I say, at 12:20 p.m. UTC to do a watch along of the tixee Live watch along of the US NFP, and again to wrap up the day. Back on at 5 p.m. UTC to cover the US session and to look at the aftermath of the NFP, NFP announcement, see how the market's reacted to it. If there is no questions, not a problem. Like I always say, if you're watching me on Facebook, by all means, give us a follow. If you're watching me on YouTube and you've liked this little video, subscribe if you like. Hit the notification button so you know next time I'm going live. If you enjoyed this little video, found it interesting and useful, and you've put up with me, my over-the-top enthusiasm for the markets, which I simply cannot help, then give me one of these. It's nice to know that you like what I do. Anyway, till next time, don't forget these little videos are for educational purposes only, and in no way whatsoever should ever be taken as financial advice. I always suggest you do your own research, do your own due diligence, and of course, know the risks at hand before entering any trade. Till next time, every single one of you, trade safe.